Congressman Richard Hanna on the line right now. Good morning, Congressman.
Hey,
thanks.
How are you, Billy?
Thanks for piping in. My guess is there's no love loss here. I'd like your take on this.
No, but it's about her representation of our community and the pathetic way she goes about doing her job. She traffics in soft bigotry, hate. Speech is prevalent in everything she says, and fear. There's a reason why she never got anything done in Albany, and this was the same reason she'll never get anything done in Washington, D.C., is that she makes enemies out of virtually everyone. And with that ridiculous comment that she made that's all over the country, she has effectively alienated everyone in the Republican Party and certainly everyone in the Democratic Party and become a pariah to Republicans. They don't need to hear this at these times, and she makes herself someone who is basically untethered.
I want to bring up on that point. Let's talk politically for a moment. Obviously, you lived in that world. This is a very difficult time right now. This issue is a very difficult issue for Republicans.
Let's make it clear. She just made herself a Democratic fundraiser. Democrats all over the country are using her foolish and poorly said statement to raise money. And Anthony Brindisi, our local candidate against her, is raising money on it. And they're doing it. People are volunteering to send money. They're not even asking. So I think the Democrats love this. And aside from that, look at her record since she's been there. This tax bill that she applauds expires for the average person in a few years. And in New York State, I agree with Cuomo and 3 or 4 of the other congressmen who voted against it. The tax bill is not helpful to New York. It does not give us the exemptions that we need in a high price state. I understand that we need to cut back on the cost of New York's government, but this will force even more people. And remember, this is the state that has lost more people than any other state. This will force more people to leave, and the people that are left behind will be stuck with the bill. I don't care what your income tax bracket is.
Have you heard from people in Washington after this comment?
Yes, I have, and they look at it and they can't believe that somebody is so careless, thoughtless, and just so full of anger and hate, and especially the time when 17 people were murdered, others were shot and wounded or in the hospital. It's callous, it's selfish, and it's another example of how Claudia Tenney can't wait to get her face on TV, and it's all about her. I'd remind anybody with this job that this job the title is representative. You represent 720,000 people, not just the primary voters that get you elected or the Tea Party people that rally around you and make you feel good about yourself. You represent the interest and futures of 720,000 people. And there's nothing about her voting record that represents us. The tax bill will raise the taxes of every senior citizen in our district.
I want to ask you, and we're always a supporter of Remington Arms, a supporter of the Second Amendment. How would, if you were in Congress today, what would you be saying? Because people would come to you and say, how can you support the Second Amendment? How can you support semi-automatic weapons? What would you say, and what do you feel today?
You know, the trouble with the NRA, and I've said this on your station before, it's not new, that we should all, as gun owners, and I'm a gun owner, I have a concealed weapons permit, we should support reasonable background checks. We should do everything we can as gun owners to stop this from landing in our laps. And that means prevent people who should not have guns, who have been adjudicated or proven to be mentally deficient or criminals or wife abusers or husband's abusers for that matter. We should keep them from having a weapon. And criminals should not have weapons. You know, in background checks, they should close the gun show loophole. But many gun owners regard this as an anathema to their right to own a gun. I would suggest to them it's not. That the more they come out to help people who are legitimate gun owners, and our district is full of them, to keep their guns, to feel good about owning their guns, to not wake up to these kinds of tragedies year in and year out. The more they do to prevent that, the more secure their gun ownership will be.
Former Congressman Richard Hanna, we appreciate you taking the time this morning.
Yeah, I want to say one other thing that upsets me about her record in Congress. Our Internet freedom. The fact that she's voted to allow people to sell my personal information is criminal to me. It offends me at every level. So I'd like to know what kind of conservative does that. And I, frankly, am just tired of hearing hate speech out of people who are paid to work together and get things done. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, Bill, and have a great day.
All right, Congressman.
Richard, we miss you, you know.
Yeah, I miss you too, Anthony. I'll catch up with you. I'll buy you lunch over at Danielle's.
Sounds good.
Okay, former Congressman Richard Hanna, thanks so much for taking the time this morning.